Hey guys, so this is a different video, one I hope I never have to make again, but on October 13th, we were on just ending our trip out west, and we returned a rental vehicle to Hertz in Phoenix. And unfortunately on that trip, the windshield had cracked. I mean, fairly significantly had cracked. And so when we returned it to the Phoenix Hertz rental location, I reported it to the attendant, and he looked at it, and he said, "Hey, you just need to pay the flat rate for windshield repair and replacement, and then you won't have to worry about this anymore. You won't get a claim. Nothing will happen, right?" And so I paid it $148 to replace the glass there, and so it was on my bill and all those things, and so I thought everything was fine. Then on December 29th, right, so quite a bit later, I received a phone call from Viking Billing Services and said that I owed $1,230.24. And then, so I explained to them what was going on. They promised to put an inquiry in, but I never really heard back from them. I got this letter a few days later that basically says I owe the $1,230.24, right? Nothing on here about that I had already paid the flat rate for it and it should have been taken care of. So that started a long string of phone calls with Viking Billing Services, with Hertz, going back and forth with different people, because these collectors like to change the people you're dealing with so that you're constantly in this state of frustration and having to restate all the facts and those things, and we forgot to write that down, and I don't have any record that we were going to call Hertz and talk to them about this or anything like that. So I took a little bit different tactic. I started using this microphone and other things and recording all the phone calls. So just so you know, Tennessee is a single-sided phone call recording state, right? So only one person has to consent to it being recorded. But in these cases, both sides consent, because they always start the conversation with, "This phone call is going to be recorded," right? So we're both consenting to it being recorded. So I started recording these phone calls, and then I would send them publicly to Hertz so that they would see what was going on. So what you're going to see as soon as I quit talking is some snippets anyway of those phone calls, so you can hear kind of how that went. Cut to the end, I don't have to pay the $1,230. So you're about to see how that happened. See ya. This phone call is me trying to call back an Aaron Macon, who is the last Viking representative to have left me a voicemail. But instead, he'll be gone for the day, and I get to talk to yet another person named Leanne.
To ensure you are treated fairly, at the end of this call, you'll be given the opportunity to leave a comment in our comment line. This is Leanne Rose on a recorded line with Viking Billing Service. How can I help you?
Hey, Leanne, I was actually calling back an Aaron Macon, I believe.
Oh, okay, Aaron Macon. Okay, it looks like he is gone for the day.
Okay. The other person that I've talked to in the past is named David or Rex. He's used two different names, but David and or Rex Snyder.
Okay, yep, and he is also not in this department any longer. What is your name?
Cameron Liner, Liner.
Okay, I can probably help you out here. I do have to let you know that our calls are recorded or monitored, and there is the option of a comment line at the end of the call to ensure you're treated fairly. And then we've got a balance here of $1,230.24.
Right.
For the Hertz Corporation? Okay.
Right. So if you could, for me, if you could read the notes on the account. So the reason I'm wanting her to read the account is I've already had multiple conversations about the $148 flat rate that I paid.
Looks like you already paid $148 of it.
Not quite. I did pay $148, but it was for the entirety of the damage upon arrival at the Hertz station in Phoenix. And so my notes should say that a phone call or email, some form of communication was sent to Hertz for clarification. There is a significantly long pause in the conversation at this point because I think she's searching for what to say in this situation. So I'm going to cut out some and then come back when she finally gets back on the line.
So you think that $148 would have covered everything?
That is correct. At the time of arrival, the attendants reviewed the damage, so I made that known to them at the time of arrival, and at that point they informed me that there was a flat rate fee for replacement. There was a different flat rate fee for chips, but it was an obvious replacement. And so the $148 was the flat rate for that, and my bill shows that. And yet another very long pause. We're going to skip some.
Yeah, I mean, we don't know why they do that at the branch, why they charge at the branch, because they don't know how much a windshield is going to cost, because it's never the same. It's not always like the same amount or anything. So.
Right, but it is Hertz policy. It is Hertz policy to have flat rates.
No, they don't though, because it depends on the type of vehicle and everything. So there's a lot of different. We see a lot of windshield claims come in there. There's not a flat rate.
Right. Sure.
But on this one, I see a work order that was done.
Mm-hmm.
Windshield replacement of $797.56.
So the reason I'm the one pausing here is she just said $797.56, and the charge on my bill was actually $798.52. So I don't know why there's different numbers, but I decided not to bring it up because it's not really the point.
So that's the amount they actually paid to replace the windshield.
Right. Well, I mean that may be the case, but it is Hertz policy. They showed it to me when I was there, and we signed that was the agreement at the time. And so I decided, hey, I'll just pay it right now instead of going through the process. And so that's where we're at. Okay, so I'm going to cut this conversation off because it's just a bunch of back and forth with me and her. The important thing is that I recorded the conversation and then I sent it to YouTube and then sent Hertz a message on Twitter with this recording. And I got a lot more action after that. Where I had been going back and forth, they immediately took action because I recorded this conversation. Okay, so I'm on Twitter now. I posted that video to YouTube and then wrote Hertz, and they immediately, pretty close to immediately, wrote me back, which is a good thing, and said, ask for my rental agreement number, and I gave it to them, and they said to please stand by, and then about, 9 minutes later, something like that, I guess it was closer to 15 minutes. They said, hello again, please contact our claims team at 1-800-227-9976. And I'll let you listen to what 1-800-227-9976. I'll let you listen to what that does, which is funny.
At no additional charge, AT&T can help you find a similar business in the same area, since the number you have called is not in service.
Oh, that's fun. That's fun. So they gave me a bad number on their Twitter support team. Guy here gave me a bad number. So this is on the next day, on the 20th, January 20th, and Hertz Twitter got back to me and gave me another number to try. So we'll get to hear that conversation now.
Calling Hertz. My name is Tiana. How can I help?
Hey Tiana, this is Cameron Liner. I've been in contact with Hertz on Twitter, going back and forth with them, trying to get phone numbers that work about concerning a claim. And the claim actually occurred in Arizona, but the number for claim services for that region is disconnected, I guess. And so they gave me this number to call.
Sir, do apologize for inconvenience. Now, are you the renter or the third party that's calling in?
I'm a renter.
Okay. Did you happen to have the vehicle plate available?
I have my rental agreement number.
Okay. And what's that?
My rental agreement number is... So I'm going to cut away for that because I don't know if somebody can use my rental agreement number for nefarious purposes. Okay, back to her.
I apologize for this. And when was the date of loss?
The date of loss on the Viking sheet is October 13th.
And when did this crack on the windshield occur?
It would have been, let's see, I turned it in on, my invoice was on the 14th. So I actually turned it into the garage on the 14th.
Alright, thanks, sir. Do you mind if we pull up while I look into this?
No, that's completely fine.
Thank you.
She's going to go away here for at least a few minutes, and so I'm going to cut through that, and she'll come back and tell us some more.
Alright, thanks both, sir. So you will have to contact them directly and let them know that you did pay a flat rate.
So of the recordings, this was probably the best moment. Now, you're going to see me get frustrated here after this because, man, I'd been around this circle a couple times, right? But now I had it recorded with a Hertz representative acknowledging, finally, somebody acknowledging that I had, in fact, paid a $148 flat rate fee, and so I shouldn't be owing this money. So this was going to help me a lot in working out the issue. Let's see the rest of it. So I did, and so what I did to help, because I've went around this circle once before, is I actually recorded that phone call with Viking where I was telling them I paid the $148, and they're basically saying they don't care and they want this money, and so I recorded it and sent it to the Hertz Twitter people so they could see it, that they're not. I think Hertz needs to call them because I think they're just a collector and all they want is money. They don't want to hear what happened.
All right, and do you mind another brief hold, sir?
That's fine. Okay, I'm going to cut out a whole bunch here. Basically, she's going to come back and she's going to tell me that I need to talk to somebody else whose name is Rick Hester, and she's going to try to transfer me to him to get resolution.
It's Rick Hester.
Oh, Rick Hester. I'm sorry. I don't know where I got David. Okay, Rick Hester.
It's fine. Well, thank you so much. Hertz, please feel free to transfer.
Okay, thank you, Tiana.
You're welcome.
I was starting to feel pretty optimistic at this point. Like, hey, I'm finally getting to somebody that I need to talk to get this finished. But wait for it.
We're sorry, you have reached a number that has been disconnected or is no longer in service. If you feel you have reached this recording in error, please check the number and try your call again.
Okay, so at this point, I wrote Hertz on Twitter back again and let them know that, hey, I really can't get a hold of anybody. The person that was trying to help me gave me a number that was also disconnected. There's lots of disconnected Hertz support numbers. I don't know why they have them listed on their websites and they're disconnected. Evidently, the system that she looked in gave her a disconnected phone number, so I don't know what their issue is in being able to get customers to the support personnel that they need. But I did get a response almost immediately back from Hertz on Twitter and said, we're looking into it. We will let you know when we have figured it out. And so this morning, it is now January 22nd, I got a direct message on Twitter from Hertz that said, we have resolved the issue, we've contacted Viking, and your balance is now $0. And so today I called Viking, and here's the final conversation with them. We'll see how that goes.
My name is Aaron Bacon on a record line. Thank you for calling Viking Services. How can I help?
Hey Aaron, this is Cameron Liner. I'd received a phone call from you last week, and
Hey, I was going to call you later today, actually.
yeah, good. And so I was going to see, Hertz tells me that they have informed y'all that the claim should be canceled, and so I was going to verify that.
Let me see. So it'd be Viking billing service.
Right.
On behalf of Hertz Rental Car.
He's going to take a couple of minutes here to look up my information using my telephone number. I'll skip a second.
All right. So I just have to let you know the call is monitored and recorded. And at the end of the call, you have the opportunity to leave a comment on our comment line to let them know whether or not Aaron Bacon treated you fairly. So it looks like this was a Hertz damage claim for no ballots.
Very good.
Congratulations, you beat the man. It doesn't happen very often.
Well, it was a challenge, I'll tell you.
Well, no, I mean you took an amazing opportunity. Like what they do that for glass damage, but like in this case, like the whole windshield had to be replaced.
Okay, so that's the end of that saga, and it turns out that I was finally able to prevail there and just basically just stick to the truth, right? So I knew that I had already paid for the damage. Don't let them pressure you into paying it. You know, they try to tell you, well, you know, all you got to do is file it with your insurance, and then you only have to pay your deductible. I did call my insurance company at one point, and I asked them and said, yes, they would cover it, but, you know, the bottom line was, I didn't know it, which means my insurance company didn't know it, and I'm not gonna force them to do something that they don't know either. So stick with it. You know what's right, and just keep pushing. And like I said, if you just stick to the facts, I think they can help you out. It just may take a while. See ya.